Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Friends. I'm Meredith, and I'm here to welcome back Ellen Canner. And I don't want to say old, but she's an old friend of the Brahma Kumaris. And I've been following her for many years. She's been doing amazing work, spreading the message of the world of vegans and the importance of being a vegan. Not that everybody's going to be, but she's on her mission and she keeps going and she's done it again. I mean, she's had many books out, but we're going to talk about her new book. Ellen, it's great to have you here. It really is.
It is an honor. Thank you so much.
Well, you've got a good group here. I'm not everybody's a vegan. I'm not a vegan, but I am a really vegetarian and kind of getting closer and closer. But everybody, at the center, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but, they're really aware of the importance, of the salads and the vegetables and all that you have been, you were really ahead of your time. That's what I want to say. I think you were doing this and you're growing and your audience is growing and people are supporting this more than ever. I'm like amazed, what has happened with this whole movement of veganism and everything. So before we start, I just want to mention the title of the book. Yeah, just tell everybody the name of the
The
book.
book is
Beautiful.
over my left shoulder. It's Miami Vegan, Plant-Based Recipes from the Tropics to Your Table. And it's vegan, but it's also got a local feel. It's got all the big tropical sexy flavors that we love here. It's got Latin and Caribbean influences, and all that winds up on the plate. Because I think there's still a perception that, oh, vegan is boring. No, vegan can really be fun.
Well, you are really taking it to another level. And I mean, I know, I'm not the greatest cook, but sometimes I look at the foods that I make and they're like kind of boring foods, but I like the taste and everything. But what you've done with this is, like you say, you have brought the color out and the magic of the food. And I think when they see the book, did we see the book yet? I didn't, was not sure if we got to see the book, but that is really important, isn't it? Isn't it? I mean, it does have to do with when you look at something that's beautiful and just inspiring to look at and to feel, you're going to be more likely to eat this kind of food.
Right. There are way many benefits to being vegan, but if you want to stick with it, you need to appeal to people. So you do it through all your senses, through how it smells, how it looks, how it tastes. And there's these gorgeous colors and shapes.
So when you first became a vegan, I mean, and this was, oh, there it is. There it is. Look at that book. Look at that book. I honestly, I think you should receive a
Oh, well,
reward or an
well,
award.
that would be my
Not a reward,
photographer.
an award, for something, creating something so beautiful. And again, so like, I don't know if I want to eat that. I want to
You
like
want to
look
bite
at it.
it. That's the
Yeah, I
idea.
would say, yeah, I'd like to have it all real on a plate, but looking at it is just something else. It is. And, I mean, just the idea to me of, when you think of people, either vegetarians or vegan, I mean, you don't usually think of Miami, right? As a place
True.
that, you have a big support system. And I never would have thought of the Caribbean either. Now, am I wrong? Am I wrong about thinking that?
Well, there are a lot. I mean, gosh, the Caribbean and Latin America grow such gorgeous produce. And this is
Yeah.
stuff I grew up with. So I thought,
Hmm.
why not? Let us use what we have. And as I was telling you, the cover of the book, everything on it came out of my garden or my photographer's garden. It's all real. It's not in a time when AI is taking over a lot of things, believe me, this was done with clippings from our gardens and a photographer.
Wow, that is like really something. I mean, again, it's developed over the years, hasn't it? I mean, your love for this and for what you do and everything. And so, would you say that, I mean, the whole world of being a vegan today has really changed a lot. It's from maybe 10, even 10 years ago. And there weren't that many
Truly.
people, people thought it was, oh, that's kind of culty, right? No more.
Right. No, I mean, now you can get vegan ice cream. I'm not saying all of it wears a health halo, but if it's a way to get people to consider their food choices and that they don't have to have something that comes from an animal, it's a
Mhm.
great gateway. So I agree, not everyone's going to be vegan, but you can be
Mhm.
vegan some of the time and still have a really good time.
Well, things happen, bit by bit as well. And I notice, people that I know that were just really heavy meat eaters, and, I'm including when I say meat, chicken and fish, have changed. And a lot of it has to do with lots of publicity these days, right? About, plant-based diets, right? Plant-based diets. And people, do you feel that like there is a change happening? Again, not that everybody's going to it, but people know what is best in terms of, their lifestyle and everything and health. It's all about health, isn't it?
It's about health, but I think a bit holistically that there are certain studies that have proven a vegan diet does all good things for, your biological aging, and it reduces inflammation and it reduces your risk for major health issues. And who wants those, really? But it also does good things for us emotionally. It improves cognition. It lowers your um, like high
Yeah.
blood pressure. It
Mm,
lowers that. So
mm.
like you can take a breath, you can sort of think things through a little more. So if you're into meditation, which we all are at Brahma
Hmm.
Kumaris,
Yeah. Big
this is a
time, big
delicious
time.
way to get there.
Yeah. So the food and even I mean, where we go in India, of course, so many people are vegetarians there, and maybe they don't call themselves vegans, but often like our main course of everything that we eat, has to do with vegetables and soup and those kinds of foods, and it's always like delicious when you're there, because
And
people
that's
do
what
know.
matters. There's like this whole thing now, like so many different ways to determine like names for things. And instead of there was flexitarian, which meant you were vegan sometimes and sometimes not, which I was fine with. Now they are like meat limiters. It's the same thing. I don't think we need to get hung
Meat a
up
lim
on that.
yeah, meat a limiters, meaning a limit
Meat limiters.
limiters.
It,
Oh, okay. Meat
it just
limiters.
gets very complicated. I just want to feed people fantastic, nourishing food. End of story.
And spreading the message,
And
and
spreading
making
the
people
message.
feel good. Are there, when I think of, people going vegan, I do tend to think that it's a lot more younger people. And maybe it's because there's just so much publicity out there and they maybe didn't grow up with, all of the meat and everything that maybe we were. Well, I never liked it to begin with as a child. So that wasn't so hard, to just give up meat and stuff. But the younger generation just seems a lot more open or quicker, right? Are they?
They are, but
Yeah.
also our age group,
Mhm.
grown women who, are, I think there comes a time when, like, I think of it as your wellness check becomes due. Like maybe you've been living wild for years and it
Mhm.
hasn't caught up to you. It will. And when you start really caring about the planet or your own health or sustainability or the animals, that's when you rethink a lot of things, including your food choices.
So that is a big part of, to me that I see too, is that people are becoming more conscious and caring more, and maybe seeing the destruction of, the earth in so many ways. I'm not saying everything, but that you begin to think people are becoming more just aware of what can we do, to help the planet and what can we do. And I mean, maybe you could explain like the importance of veganism in terms of helping, helping the earth.
It uses to grow crops, uses
Right.
a fraction of the resources it takes to grow livestock.
Mhm.
Um, so you have a much lower carbon footprint. There is more available land to feed more people because I think we are supposed to be 10 billion on the planet by 2050, and we all need to eat.
Wow. So to me, what your new book is about is not just eating, but really, really in the delight of eating such good food. What kind of response have you had from people so far? It's just the book is just out now, right? Yeah.
Right, but very warm. You were talking about how writing can be kind of isolating. So
Yeah.
it has been such a delight to have this out in the world and for people to text me or email me or send me photos of the dishes they made and said, wow, this was really good. This was easier than I thought. Uh, that has been the real reward here.
Yeah, and again, when you talk about well-being, the sense of well-being, when you make the food yourself, you prepare your own food, and it's a whole different experience. I mean, because a lot of people do still eat out a lot. People, I mean, I come into contact with people and I mean, I'm not against it. I mean, I think people have to do whatever they do, but when you're at home and you're cooking these foods yourself, and you can be in a state of meditation and be in a state of peace, because let's face it, restaurants can be very chaotic. Again,
Right.
I'm not here to put down restaurants, or, the more that they can give healthy foods, the better the energy changes. So wait till we want to take a look at some of your delicious, delicious things that you are included in the cookbook, right?
That's right. We have some
Tell us what you've
images.
got and how you make it, right? Give us
All right.
a couple of your secrets.
Sure, you can have all of them.
I'll tell you something. I'm ordering this book immediately.
I,
I really am.
I want to
Uh,
feed you everything from it.
oh my goodness. I just can't wait to get this book
Um,
now. And I'm seeing
these,
so many things that I love, things that I'd be happy eating. Very happy.
well, that makes me happy because these are collard tacos with charred sweet potato and onion. And I wanted to make this something people wanted to eat because I really like it when people eat their greens, and I find they can be resistant. But when you have when you have tacos and you have sweet potatoes and you have all your favorite taco fixings, I think it makes it a little easier.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, what do you say? What do you say? Uh, you just say, well, vegetables are good.
Yeah,
Vegetables are,
enjoy yourself,
he's
but here,
not
I
really.
want you to taste this anyway.
Yes, right, right, right.
This is a spinach and
Oh,
quinoa salad with pomegranate, and it's got an orange and tahini dressing. So it's really it's simple food, but it's got some sumptuous touches to it.
it looks so beautiful. It really is like, they look like works of art. They do. So what do we have now, Ellen?
We have dessert because
Oh,
you can still have a good time too. I really want that to be part of my message. This is coconut shortbread, and I don't really have a sweet tooth, but I got to tell you, this is a winner. I've had people say, "Can you make some more for me?" Which is always a good sign. I have a puppy now we're trying to train, and I have learned
oh,
the secret to life is treats.
it's
So if you give someone something delicious, they're more likely to go along with something.
well, I'm definitely one of those. I like treats, right? And you have to come on Sunday morning to one of our meditations. Every
I
Sunday
think so.
actually is you get a vegan breakfast on Sundays.
Oh,
Every Sunday, and people come that don't necessarily come the rest of the week, or maybe they come sometimes. And anytime, you're welcome
oh,
to
that would be
come. So we
great.
do a meditation. We do a little class. Veronica would, of course, love to see you. And actually, Veronica, our leader of the center, our director, and really inspiration for all of us. She was the first one, I'd say, at the center to become a vegan. Certain amount of years, because she's an animal lover, and that's why
Hmm.
she just didn't like, feeling that animals were, not that were kind of not being treated properly and everything. And she changed, and then I've seen other people change because of her. So a lot of things do have to do with being inspired, don't they?
Right.
And so I bet that's happened with you. that you've inspired. You are spreading this message, and as a result, other people do come along at the right moment. They don't come until they're ready, really. But
I hope so. Yeah, but it always has to be when people are ready. That's why I try and really have good food rather
mm,
than push people.
mm.
We like to be led into things.
Do you think? I mean, one of the main things that I think that really, does inspire people to become, of course, to become vegan. It is the animals, I'd say, is one. But again,
Big
and we were
one.
talking earlier about this, that people are seeing a lot more stories and articles and films and everything, about the advantages of being a vegan. And so
Yeah,
what,
you can be a killer athlete and be vegan too. That is a fairly new development.
yeah, because people have this idea that athletes need a lot of, heavy duty, protein and stuff. And so that's to me a question, because people often say to me, and it's like kind of just even being a vegetarian, they'll say, well, how do you get your protein? That's the first thing they often ask. So
I
what's
think that's
your
so funny. Well, Caribbean pigeon peas and rice will really take
rice?
good care of you.
Mm,
Beans are probably my favorite
they-
way. They're also full of fiber, so you're like doing entirely good things for your system, lowering your glycemic load. And you can also do fun things like nuts and, even broccoli has protein. We get very hung up on it in this country, but we really all get enough protein.
so we don't need as much as we think we do.
Right.
I mean, we need protein, of course, but we don't
Everyone
need,
does.
some people are, really like kind of obsessed with they have to get their protein and everything. So you're saying you can,
I am.
so you'd say like basically it's beans. That would be the main, do you do tofu and personal?
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
tofu.
I
I
do
love
tempeh,
tempeh.
tempeh, I do.
Um,
Yeah. The quinoa has protein. So there's
yes, it
really a lot
does.
out there. What about your friends and the ones that get invited to, I guess, these gatherings that you have, where you
Hmm.
make all this wonderful food? But I mean, have you seen people in your life change, in your life around you? Your people that are your friends, really, or
I've seen people take
associates?
steps,
Yeah.
and every positive step will lead you to something more. So I'm a big believer in the rule of one, that if you're still drinking cow milk, maybe try some oat milk because it's super creamy and that's an easy substitute. And then you'll be doing something better for the planet because oats are very sustainable and it's delicious. That's not hard. I think when you see how easy it is, that is a big draw too.
I think, if you feel like you're giving up something, you can't change.
Right.
You feel like, oh, I'm suffering through this and this is going to be a drag and everything. And then you can't sustain it. So
Right. No one
you have
wants that. I don't want suffering for anybody.
right, right. But emotionally, people, they say they tried something and it was so hard, and then they went out and everybody was eating this or doing that, or um, I want to go back to you and your, or say your past life. Like,
Mm.
um, when can you recall like the moment that you just knew that you had to be a vegan?
I'm not sure it was that crystal clear
It
to
was,
me.
yeah.
I had been vegetarian for a very
Oh,
long
you had.
time, but I was writing about food and I was writing about food systems. And the more I understood how our food system worked, I'd say that pushed me. And I've never, ever, ever regretted it.
Mm. Beautiful. I mean, that to me is the key, isn't it? That's the key.
Hmm.
If you do something, let's say you try to do some kind of sport, but you really aren't enjoying it, but you've been told that it's healthy and it's good for you,
Right.
you're not gonna keep it up. You're just not. Or I mean, or it's gonna be very difficult. And we don't want to suffer. We don't want to be in pain,
No.
right? Emotional. We don't want to do things we really don't want to do. So I guess the key is just to kind of maybe play with it, maybe start a little bit and a little bit here and a little bit there and just yeah. And I guess well, you just mentioned at that point about, people always say get about the protein. Are you getting enough protein? Are you getting enough protein? So you're saying that there are so many things that offer
Oh,
same
yeah.
protein. And so and I mean I'm thinking of India, you have a country of most people, I don't know about now, but most people have been vegetarian, are in their culture have been vegetarians, and they have survived, I mean, and done well, a lot of people health-wise and everything. Not everybody, I've seen some, things where people maybe are eating too many sweets or I don't know, there's certain things, but it is a healthier lifestyle, isn't it? The beans and the rice.
It's healthier, it's lighter for the planet, it's more compassionate to animals. And I think it helps us be more compassionate to each other too, somehow. There's probably a study on that, but I have no stats on it. I just know that it makes me maybe a little kinder in the world.
Mm, beautiful. I think it does have to do with when you make changes that are really good changes in your life. You do something and you're not doing it to make someone else look at you and be happy or pleased with you or anything.
Right.
You're doing it because it's coming from your heart and from your spirit.
Yeah. I think that's really important because there are a lot of studies that show the physical benefits of
Hmm.
a vegan diet. It'll reduce inflammation. It will reduce your risk for every health issue you do not want, diabetes, depression, high blood pressure, heart disease. No one wants that. A vegan diet can help you reverse that. But it also does great things for your spirit. It leaves you more clear-headed. It reduces anxiety. So it makes for a better way of life for me.
It makes sense what you're saying. And,
Hmm.
I think people learn from hearing messages that are inspiring and that are, do something to them, kind of awaken them. You never know who's going to be inspired by something, but if
That's
you're
true.
doing something that you believe in and you know that it's good and it's healthy, then I mean, I'm just thinking of a doctor that my husband had, my late husband had, and I used to talk to him about meditation. He was a heart doctor, a cardiologist, and I used to talk to him all about it, and he wasn't that interested. And then one day, and I didn't go with my husband all the time, but every once in a while I would go with him. And he all of a sudden just pulled me aside and he goes, I have to tell you, you've been talking about meditation for all of these years, every time I've seen you, and I've seen the research in the medical research. He goes, and it does really change people's lives and it does bring health, greater health and everything. Again, not that everything is like a cure-all, but he recognized that. And there was something that really energized me to hear that. Because sometimes you
Sure.
can talk to somebody about these things but they're not really listening because they're on their path. And again, the one thing I do love about the meditation center that we're all involved with is we're not into converting, we just present, whether it's
Hmm.
food, whether it's inner peace, whether it's compassion or whatever it is, spirituality, because you can't really change anyone. Find that you see people and you go, oh, the way they could change their diet, they'd feel better, they would, you know.
Yeah, I do. And that was one of the reasons I wrote Miami Vegan, that it maybe one dish in there will make someone say, you know what, this isn't so bad. Um, because you're right, you can't change people, but you can invite, you can inspire, and you do that.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for that. Well, it's because we have some really good teachers, that we've all learned from. And I think that's very important to have people, role models,
Yeah.
because if you feel like you're all alone on a mission, again, it doesn't work either. You get burnt out and you get exhausted. So I'm sure you have like sort of a group of people that are very, kind of either they become this way because of you and, you're helping to support them spiritually, of course, to support them in as they change without pushing, right? You can't push.
Right. We all have to support each other. And
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
time you and I met, I just sort of felt this automatic connection. And I didn't, I don't feel that way with everyone. I'm always
Yeah.
glad to meet people,
Yeah.
but I really felt that.
Oh, that's nice. And I felt that too. I told you I felt like sort of just, oh, that's Ellen Camper. Wow. What you do. I remember feeling that. And I even remember where it was, the spot. I remember that. and somebody told me that I was with at that seed show. Was it seed?
That's right. That was an early
Right.
vegan festival in Miami.
So yeah, early. So I mean, to help people start, maybe on this path, what advice do you have for them?
Go slow, go be kind to yourself. Stock your pantry with foods you like that are
Mm-hmm.
plant-based. So
Mm-hmm.
so when dinner time comes, you're not going to go, "Oh my goodness, what am I going to eat?" Set yourself up for success. I'm a big believer in the rule of one. So you don't have to change everything, but maybe get one more fresh fruit or vegetable this week, one meatless meal, one trip to the farmer's market. Try and build that way.
Beautiful. It's a lifestyle change too. It really
Hmm.
is. If you change what you do, everything changes in your life,
Right.
and others change when they see what you're doing. So definitely you're one of those change makers. I think we could talk all night about all of this or all day or whatever. But I think that we've kind of gone over not that we have a lot of time, but we have sort of a kind of an idea of how time should go for the program. And I could just talk with you really, you have so much to share, and your enthusiasm for what you do to me is really beautiful. And that you are spreading a message and giving a message with all the work that you do, which includes cooking, writing. You do seminars, right? I was seeing, what other things do you do? I know you do a lot. And then we were going to say goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Tell me. Yeah, I think
I also have a free Substack called Broccoli Rising, so you can catch up on me that way. And I always have recipes.
oh, great,
Um,
great.
it's called Broccoli Rising, and it's on
Rising.
Substack.
Uh-huh.
And I've got my book. I love to present to people. I love to teach people how to cook. So yeah, maybe I've been wanting to see if we could do something at the center. So let's talk about that
Okay,
sometime.
yes, yes. We won't forget this, and you won't forget us either, right? You'll remember.
Never.
We'll have to do something together. So it's always a pleasure to get to see you and be with you. And congratulations on your new book. Maybe we can hold it up again. Are you holding it there, or was it taken away? Do you have the book in front of you? The book. Is
The
it there?
book. It's
Your new
behind me.
book or the picture? Yeah, I'd like to hold it up. Well, we can, yeah, we'll get it
Okay.
later. Yeah, right. Ellen, it's great to see you, and congratulations on
Oh,
something
thank
I
you.
think a lot of people are going to be talking about, the
Oh, you're the
tropics and
best.
Caribbean and vegan, and it's really cool. So thanks so much for being with us.